Have you ever felt like the life you're living was never really yours? Like you're chasing goals you didn't even pick just because everyone around you was. By the time I was 21, I have followed everyone else's path so far that I had completely lost myself. And honestly, guys, it's not easy for me to say, but there are 3 things I learned finding my way back that I wish I could have told my younger self. Okay, so basically, I moved out of home when I was 18 and I decided to go to college because everyone else was also going. But I never really liked studying. I was pretty average in school. I didn't have a good, my grades were always average. But after graduating high school, I thought college is the next move, so I did it. But then when I went to college, I fell straight into the corporate, climb the ladder, chase the money hamster wheel. I took on the goals of everyone around me because I thought, yeah, of course I need to have those goals too because, everyone is having them.
Right.
And I did so without even noticing that I was doing it. I felt like I just was in a trance and I didn't have control over my body or even my mind. And then around 19, I hit a breaking point where I went into my first relationship. We broke up and then everything from there just went downhill. But then I took a gap year and I honestly just drowned myself in excessive consuming of alcohol and I consumed so much, I felt like I went numb, like I didn't have sense of reality anymore. I went partying almost every 2 to 3 days and I surrounded myself with people that were doing the same thing. So I didn't feel like it was out of the norm even. And I remember I gained so much weight. I looked physically ill. I had really dark under eye bags and my face was puffy all of the time. But I kind of played it off as being the girl who loves to party. I took on the identity of that. I posted myself I remember on TikTok and also on my Instagram and my stories, just partying with friends and, feeling like that was the cool thing to do. So yeah, to be honest, if I think about this right now, I am getting shivers because my life has really changed completely from back then, which is 3-4 years ago. I think I did a whole 180 on my life and it sounds kind of cringe, but yes, my lifestyle, I am way more healthy now. I lost a bit of weight, but I am keeping a healthy weight, but still I am even in therapy. I just have changed my view on life and on myself. And the thing is, I kind of wore everyone else's identity who was around me at the time. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I felt like I didn't really have my own sense of identity or sense of self, which I know now that that's the key, that you should have a sense of self, your own identity. Hey, it's me editing right now. I just wanted to say I actually have a whole video on this topic uploaded on my channel. So if you want to watch it, go ahead and watch that video after this video. If you can tell, it's already midnight right now and I'm still editing. I can't do this anymore. But yeah, I hope you guys love this video. Of course, you always pick up things from people around you, but it doesn't mean that you have to fully morph into the person you are with. But again, I know that I have had my own battles to deal with when it comes to that question because of the way I grew up. But I slowly decided I didn't want that anymore. I don't know how, but I distanced myself from a lot of the things I was doing back then. And then somewhere in letting all of the things go, I stumbled across social media of instead of where people were glorifying the way I was living my life back then, posting how you're partying. Instead of that, I stumbled across a whole online space niche where people were just building things, actual businesses.
You are now one of my elite employees.
And I know it sounds kind of crazy, but when I saw it, I was like, this could be me. And then, yeah, I started doing business online. Okay, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me go back to the story first. Honestly, by 21, I decided to quit college. Yes, I am Asian and I quit college. It wasn't an easy choice, obviously. I was thinking about this for a really long time. And again, I took the gap year off, but I went back to college. And I still remember I had I was in my exams phase and I needed to study for my exams, right? But then I kind of built a business at the same time in college. I built a brand. And then I noticed how I just, something pulled me towards not doing school. And I realized the reason for that, of course, is in the beginning, I thought I needed to study something just for the sake of my parents. I always had this kind of mentality and mindset that I have to study something where I know at the end the possibility of me getting a safe and good financially stable job is higher than, for example, studying something that I personally like doing. I know that was my first wrong step, but I know now the reason behind it. I studied something that I didn't like, I didn't enjoy at all. I felt like every time I needed to go to uni, I felt completely out of place. I remember sitting in the classes and, like the huge halls, especially in Germany. I don't know how many people are inside a Vorlesungssaal. If you know, you know. There are so many people sitting there and I look around. Of course, I see my friends and I am so grateful I had them during the time because I think otherwise I would have completely lost my mind. I just noticed how everyone else was kind of doing the same things. And I also like applied for jobs during that time. And I was like a working student. I was working in one of the pretty big consulting firms, I think. Yeah. So I noticed how I just felt completely out of place and I just didn't fit in. Even my style back then, like you could tell I'm not from this space and I don't belong where I was studying. At 21, I quit college and I moved to Dubai. And I think I could have went to any other place too, like where a lot of nomads are. But I decided to come here because it was the first place where I kind of like had a taste of what it could be to have friends that are like-minded, especially because I almost always felt like an outsider back in when I was studying, also in school, not even just in uni, also in school. I always felt like I'm some kind of like weird kid that didn't fit in. And then like I came to Dubai and suddenly I had people around me that all kind of did the same thing. And, I just felt really included. So yeah, that's why I decided to come here. Anyways, that's where I am right now. So now I'm coming to the 3 lessons that have honestly, like really, honestly, to be honest, I wish someone would have told me this. I wish someone would have told me this when I was younger. We have heard this sentence on and on and on again. Honestly, it just fits because I genuinely wish someone would have told me this so that I wouldn't have to make all of these mistakes myself. But everything happens for a reason. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm telling you. But yeah, let me go to the first one. I remember there was a time in high school where I had a friend group. And I remember one of the girls talking behind my back. She said that I'm really annoying because I talk so much. And I remember it hitting me like a train because I thought I was being normal and I thought I was just being nice and friendly talking to people, but somehow it came across as being extremely annoying. I don't know why. This is the first thing I kind of understood, where especially now that I am here in Dubai, oftentimes you get the better end of the stick when you stay quiet and you don't talk too much, especially when it comes to talking to people you don't really know yet. So for example, when I am in like social gatherings, I like to stay quiet, listen and observe. I used to be the person to be very bubbly and just talk to anyone. And yes, you can be friendly at the same time, but you can also be not spilling the tea the first 5 seconds you meet someone. Yeah, I had to learn this the hard way. And now that I'm here, I think I've kind of mastered it. I'm still learning, of course, but number 1, stay quiet, listen and observe. And that's usually also where you're able to hear yourself talk in your head. Does this kind of sound maniac? Not in a weird way, but when you do that, usually you're able to just be very present and see how people react and then understand who they are. Because for me, for the longest time, I used to just talk, and then I used to form connections really quickly, and then I trusted them a lot. But then things along the way would have happened, and then I finally saw who they really are. But you know what? That's on me because I have always just been talking too much and giving my all to them extremely fast, and then I wasn't able to understand what's going on and see who they really are, even though they maybe showed me during the whole time who they are. But that's where I kind of learn to just stay quiet, listen, and observe. And when you have to talk or when you want to talk, of course you can talk. If you practice this more, you will find yourself just being in situations where you're the one who usually stays neutral. To the second thing. Okay, this one is kind of business-ish related. Again, for the past 3 years, I have built 7 businesses. I built 7 businesses. It sounds like I did so much. Usually, what I mean with I built 7 businesses is I started 7 things. I started it, quit, or I decided not to do it anymore, or something happened and I gave it away. So that's just an example. What I learned is number 2, most important. I would even say this could be number 1, but the most important thing is how fast you can bounce back to neutral. And I heard this quote, I think from, I'm not quite sure, like Alex Hormozi or Layla Mosey, some of that niche. I heard this once and it has stuck with me because for the past 3 years, I've been starting different things. And then when I noticed how the thing isn't for me, the first time that the kind of rejection hit me where I realized, oh shit, like this isn't for me, I immediately bounced back to my old self where I felt like I'm a failure and I am not doing things right again. Why am I this way? Like, why can't I get things right? And this and that. But how fast can you actually bounce back to neutral? It doesn't mean you have to be completely happy about it or excited to go to the next thing, right? It's human to feel the kind of rejection or like being frustrated with yourself and then feeling kind of negative. But then you can feel those feelings. And especially, I think it's kind of important to feel those feelings. But then how fast can you actually bounce back to, all right, present, neutral, what are we doing next? What should I get done? Let's try this. That's number 2. I think it's really important, especially when you're self-employed. It's a quality you should have that allows you to always reinvent whatever it is that you're building and always be looking for improvement. Number 3 is probably one of the most important things. The thing is, I feel like everyone knows this already because from early age on, we have been hounded on like that. This is something you should always do. Especially, I remember when I started going for colleges and thinking about what I should major in. I remember teachers in high school also telling us that if you try something and the result is it's not for you, that is a accomplishment too, because understanding that something isn't for you gives you room to see what is for you. When I heard this in high school, I remember just feeling like I couldn't really understand it, but now I understand because I did this so many times now. So number 3 is try everything that sparks you. It not only applies to people who are self-employed or do like business online or business in general. I think this really applies to anyone in general. And one of the things I kind of come back to quite a lot is within those like 3 years where I tried different businesses or like different skills, I tried high ticket sales. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's basically a skill where you are the salesperson for a high ticket offer and you hop on calls, for example, with like clients or like people that are interested in like leads. They call it leads. You basically try to pitch those people. Like you try to sell an offer and the offer is high ticket, which means it usually is like around 4 figures. So it's really high ticket. And I decided to learn the skill of being the salesperson. And you know what, guys? I am not a salesperson. Like I knew from the beginning, since like very, very, very early on, I hate talking to people. I remember being in class in high school and even though I knew the answer, I didn't want to raise my hand because I hated I hate to speak out loud. I hate to speak to people, especially in a crowd where I just have so many eyes and ears on me. And I don't have an issue with talking to close people or like, you know, ranting about something with my friends. And, you know, that's something else. But again, I don't have the skill of selling, especially verbally selling something. But I knew that I always wanted to go out of my comfort zone, which was also why I moved out of home at 18, moved out of my home country at 21, and then I decided to do different businesses. What I want to say is I knew from the very beginning I'm not a salesperson. Like it's not in me, but I still wanted to try it because I know that the skill of knowing how to sell something, it's priceless. And if you have the chance to learn it, because even if you don't end up actually doing the job that you were, you know, thinking you could do, for example, high ticket sales with like me thinking I could do high ticket sales. Even if you don't end up doing the things, you will still learn so many qualities about selling. And in the beginning, I didn't even go into the space thinking, oh, I just need to learn a new skill. Like I honestly, I think my motivation was just making money. Like I saw people online, how much money they were making with this, and I wanted to try it, at least go for it, And then I went for it and I realized it's not for me. I remember having almost 2 months of everyday training, drilling myself with how to sell. And I went on those role play calls where you kind of role play selling some type of offer. And, the first thought I had when I quit high ticket sales, I thought, damn, what a waste.
What a waste of time, what a waste of my resources, what a waste of my energy.
But then a few weeks passed by and I realized it gave me so many things I didn't expect I could have. Confidence talking to people, how to read sales psychology. Before I did the whole high ticket sales thing, I was always kind of the kid who trusted too fast. But then once I learned high ticket sales and once I understood sales psychology, so many things just clicked in my head. But here's the part where I think I only get now. Like even weeks after I quit high ticket sales, I couldn't really understand it because I was still so frustrated trying to find my own thing, trying to find my next business thing that is really me. Like I spent a lot of time trying different business outlets, and I have always just ended up realizing it's not for me. But then here's the thing that I think, which is why I said in the beginning, try everything that sparks you. Because the more you try and the more you adapt, it will all quietly, without you even noticing it, but it will quietly point you to the thing that is actually yours. And for me with high ticket sales, of course, I am not hopping on offers right now and trying to close people, right? Like I don't really do the high ticket sales, but I learned how to sell. And now the skill of talking to someone confidently, for example, on a call, and knowing how to use the kind of sales psychology if you pitch yourself, like your own service to a person, to a business, it all comes in handy right now. And I think I only noticed this like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, where I have had my first client finally. And when I went on a call with them, in the beginning, of course, I was nervous, but then I noticed how all of my thought patterns and the way I used to sell on those quote unquote high ticket sales calls, it all came back to me. And I think because of this experience I had, although for some people they could say, oh, it's a failure because you're not doing it anymore. Because of the experience I had, I am now able to just speak confidently and like a quiet confidence, embody it during like sales calls for my own services. And I think that's the reason why I even got the client in the first place. It does so much when you understand sales psychology and you are self-employed and you need to pitch yourself to people and get clients. So I think that part. All right, I am almost finished, but what I want to say is don't beat yourself up when something doesn't work the way you thought it would work. And it's human to feel rejection and frustration when things like this happen, but it's all part of it. And sooner or later, there will be a season where it all makes sense. The thing that is truly meant for you will come, but it will only come because you keep on trying and because you keep on, quote unquote, failing, but you learn so many things because of that. And just because a door closes doesn't mean that other things won't open, right? Is that even the saying? I don't know. You get what I mean. That's where I'm at. I hope this video was sort of helpful or, I don't know, inspirational in some kind of way. I think I have had like it has been a long way for me to be able to be here right now in this moment talking to you guys, and even making this video or like making long form videos at all. It took a lot of courage for me to do it. And again, maybe some of you can hear it, but I think most of you can hear it. I am not a native English speaker.
I don't speak English.
I have grown up always in Germany, and I am able to speak like natively German, but English for me was always like quite far, even though I learned it in school. But I remember I wasn't really good like a good English speaker in school. But I then, because I moved out of home at 21, well, I moved out of the country at 21, I was kind of forcing myself to just talk to people in English the whole time. And now that I'm here, I think everything genuinely happens for a reason. And I'm still figuring things out. It doesn't mean just because I'm talking here right now that, you know, I have shit figured out. No. Yeah, so honestly, that's what the channel is for me figuring things out. And I hope that some of you will feel less lonely, and I hope this inspires you. Yeah.
I have Instagram and TikTok and all of that, so you know what to do.
All right. Bye.